Should be an interesting one. We are live, bro. Yeah. Oh, bro, I got shy.
Yeah, 1-0.
Oh, that is actually funny. That is hilarious. Alright, put this on focus. I just want to keep this here so I can just look at my notes. Okay,
Man, just kick me off the plank, boy.
Well, listen. First things first.
Speak to me, Robert.
Yes, big dog.
One more time.
Yes, brother.
First things first, big up Taser. Let's start there. Big up Taser. Because for a little while, Taser's been saying to me, Chucks, you need to have this guy on the pod. And I like it when someone says that and it's coming from a measured place.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like, not you've been doing the pod, let me just... Because I feel like sometimes there is that where it's just... People think that it's a community centre, and that essentially that anyone can just pass through and whatever. And it's not really that. Do you know what I'm saying? The couch is for the culture.
Yeah.
It's
not a barbershop thing.
Yeah. The couch is exactly. The couch is for the culture. It has been. We've been here for 11 years now. It's stamped, certified. People know what time it is or whatnot. But it's not just anyone can just pull up at any sort of time. So I like it when that is measured. And he'd been saying for a little while that you needed to come here, that you had an interesting story. So that's what I want to do first. I want to big up to Taser.
Yeah, man.
Now, I address you by Flash.
All right.
Flash?
Yeah,
That's correct, yeah?
Yeah.
I just want to make that clear.
Past name, but I go by HAMZA.
HAMZA. Oh, okay. So Flash is the old school kind of thing, past life.
Yeah.
And then HAMZA is
Where I'm
essentially where you are at today. Right, okay.
I go by Eva, you know that go already.
Eva.
Yeah.
So just to give like a little bit of understanding for anyone who's going to listen to this conversation, you have an interesting story, but I think that your main passion ultimately is men's mental health.
Yeah.
And there's clearly been a journey that has got you to the place that you are today.
Yeah, 100%.
Before we even get into that, how are you, bro? How's things? How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah?
Yeah, man, we give thanks for each day, you know? And yeah, man, for me, it's just about perspective's key.
Yeah.
You know, life's gonna have its ups and downs, but man, utilize my support systems and my positive coping mechanisms and we get through it.
Yeah.
The climate's tough, but we still have to remain steady.
100%. So what do you do, like, today, what do you do for a living? What goes on in your world today?
Yeah, so weird titles. So one is for the NHS. It's called an Advanced Lived Experience Practitioner, where I do, I'm involved in organisational development under the NHS. I overlook 5 of the Surrey prison sites based on lived experience. I also work with young kids in care homes as a separate job, you know. So that's young kids, anything from like, 16 to 22. Support them with either mental health or coming off the road. And then I'll do freelance work, whether that's programs, workshops, presentations, and that can be from professionals to prisoners, patients, etc.
Why?
Why do I do these things? It feels like it's my purpose, you know, unless I get shown otherwise. But this is my calling right now still. It's my lane where I can rectify my wrongs and help at the same time. I feel like most people chase a big bag so they can give back after. Alhamdulillah, I'm in a space where I can do both at the same time. I get paid for the work that I'm doing. That's very rewarding. It is mentally draining, I ain't gonna lie to you.
100%, I can imagine.
You know, and every day man can be triggered or revisit trauma. But yeah, the reward's there and man's built for it. You know, and I see that now looking back at what man's been through.
How do you, because you know when you were saying like sometimes there's like certain moments when you feel like you can be triggered. How do you manage that?
Same thing, I stay grounded, man. My faith is the biggest thing for me. You know? My faith's got me through some things I couldn't see myself getting through, my brother. You know? And then, first and foremost, faith. And then second to that is utilising my support systems and my positive coping mechanisms. And that's the main thing that I preach to everybody still. I think a lot of the time we don't reflect, you know, and we don't identify who are our support systems. Climate's tough. Everyone's got a lot of weight on their shoulders. But a weight shared is a weight halved, you know. It's easier to carry that load when, you know. So that's kind of my thing, just to kind of give that insight, that perspective, shift mindset, change narrative, dilute stigmas and stereotypes, and show people that man can change and it's possible, and on both sides, you know. Obviously, yeah, I grew up on the road, but the stigma for mental health is much higher than man transitioning from road life. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, when I was going through what I was going through, there's a lot of people that wouldn't even have saw that I'd have made it back to a quote unquote normal person. Never mind doing what I'm doing now, you know? So yeah, man, that's what I'm an advocate for. I'm the voice of the silent, you know? And yeah, man, I push route to recovery. I push criminal past, transition, rehabilitation, you know? I've been section, I've been prison, you know? And my story is not unique, my brother. There's a million man like, man. What makes me different is me working in the field that I'm in with the story that I got. Because most people that make it through what man's gone through, they don't have the patience, the time, or the energy to come back and work in a space where they could be triggered or traumatized or drawn out daily. Like most people that either come off the road and do well, they disappear. Or man that come through mental health and they're all right and they're in a good space, they disappear. God, who wants to revisit like the hardest things that you've gone through in your life daily? People don't want to do it, bro. And I respect it, cause it's subjective, isn't it? Our patience and tolerance levels are different. But as I said, my thing, especially with my faith, my bro, I'm chasing rectifying my wrongs. I'm chasing helping, you know, and that's how I can give back. That's my impactful aspect.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting that you mentioned that actually, because I do feel like that is a thing where enough times, especially as men, yeah, when you go through some of the most turbulent times in life, you don't. That's something we just don't want to revisit again. When you get out of it, sometimes I feel like, and I'm speaking from some people that I know, yeah. Once they've managed to find themselves out of it, you would never even believe that was what they went through. Because they don't even want to talk about it. They suppress it a lot. Yeah. I'm not sure how much of that suppressing helps though, but I do understand that like when you find yourself in a certain space, that sometimes some people are like, you know what, yeah, like I don't even want to open that again because I don't even like, I almost don't even recognize who that was. Do you know what I mean? So what area did you grow up in then?
I started off in Hackney and then Kilburn.
Right. Okay. Well, how old was you when you moved from Hackney to Kilburn?
Yeah, 8.
Oh, rah.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, those are times where things are happening now.
Unfortunately, not for me. It was happening way before that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, all right, let's start there. Okay, this is what we'll do. You told me this off thing, and if there's anything as well that you don't feel comfortable with.
No questions too invasive, my brother. The cause is bigger than man, you know?
So your parents, yeah?
Yeah.
Your mum is Jamaican, you say?
Yeah.
And your dad is from where?
Dominica,
yeah?
which is a French colony, so I've got a French surname, but I don't speak French.
Fair. And then your parents split up when you was how old?
Young, man. Probably toddler. Yeah, toddler.
And was your dad involved in your life when you was a toddler?
Not that I remember. No, but he used to live up the road from me, so I used to see him a little bit.
What is that like? When you're living in an area where your dad's not necessarily involved, but you just see him, though?
It weren't, man. It was man's norm. It was man's norm. I don't really remember him being. He was never present in my house, and yeah, I remember him living at the top row, but not really seeing him like that. I think more time I remember like seeing him around the way, you know. So my first home was number 5 Dymchurch in a estate called Pembury. My dad lived in Hackney Downs, which was some tower blocks at the top of the road by Hackney Downs Park. I've got a younger brother and sister, but that's from a separate. My mum had kids with another man. 5 years between me and my brother, and 10 years between me and my sister. So they were together separately. Yeah, but like, the last time I saw this man, I might have been about 10 or 11. My brother, he walked past me. You know, and I recognize him because I've got photos of him up to now on my phone, you know, but yeah, obviously he don't know, man, and as far as I'm aware, he has no mental health, he has no drug issues, and he's not alcoholic. Furthermore, I know he's married with other kids. You know what I'm saying? Funny enough, I lost my uncle beginning of this year, and I met my dad's brother at my uncle's funeral.
Your uncle, was it your mum's brother?
Yeah.
All right.
I got no association with my dad's family
at all,
apart from my uncle. That I met this year at my other uncle's funeral.
So
my uncle and my real dad used to be dogs.
Right.
Yeah, and so yeah, their relationship must have been a bit techie, but I didn't get that side of the story before my uncle passed, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. So then, and then you mentioned that like when you was around 10 years old or whatever, like you just seen your pups, but he didn't even really know you like that. You just knew him through pictures and stuff.
Yeah. I think the last vivid time we had talked may have been a bit after that we spoke. So when I'd first moved to Northwest, my mum, because I got family in Hackney and Tottenham, and my mum's come to Hackney now, and she was at Hackney, that was fun fair. I remember it's like a World Cup time because I was at the yard. And the house phone's rung and she's like, "I'm with your pups here. He wants to chat to you." And she must have just stuck it on him and put him on the phone. And it's them times when the first Motorola was out. You remember the big thing, the Motorola, and you put the whole card in it. Not before that, big before chunky thing.
Oh man.
Yeah. But she's called from that to the house phone. And yeah, he chopped it up for a minute and said this, that, and the third, and that's kind of that. You know what I'm saying? Didn't really hear from him again. So that was the last time I remember speaking to him.
Do you know what type of man he was though? In like, was he a street man or was he a working man? Or
I've heard some things. Same thing through when my uncle passed. Certain people popping up because, as I said, they were dogs. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, I heard he was on the curb.
Right. And what was your like as a young toddler, like say in and around 10, 11, in and around that sort of time there, yeah? From what you remember, what did your environment look like? Like what kind of things was you around? Was it normal?
It was fun, yeah, and normal. So yeah, I've always lived in the States. From Pembury, I moved to, well, apart from one, which was like, it was one room. It's one place called Stanton Court, which was in Stamford Hill. It was a room and then a bathroom and a kitchen. And that was me, my mum, my brother, and my brother's dad. Yeah. And then from there we moved to Nelson Mandela, which is another state in Upper Clapton. Yeah. Also there's like Murder Mile. So man was there. And play out. I've got a hella brethren because you live on the estate. 4 goals, run outs.
Yeah, run out.
It's good times, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's only later on in life a man reflect and realise other things that were going on. It was normal, but it's not normal. You know?
When did you realise it wasn't normal? And what happened when you feel like it kind of changed from being normal to not normal for you?
If I'm being honest, when I started to make my transition, because it's all I knew, my brother. I got my first job when I was 34 years old. You know? So, yeah. Up until then, it was normal because it's all man knew. You know? My granddad was a well-known drug dealer. My uncles were armed robbers and bank robbers and then became drug addicts. You know? My little brother is the first black man in my family to go to university. He's a thriving director. You know? I tell you his name off camera, you know him still. He does big work, you know, but man had to break that with him. But even then, it was kind of an idiot thought process on my part because I was then it was like, oh, man's doing what man's doing, man's looking after the fam. I could have been doing the right thing to look after man's fam, you know, but subconscious seeds, subconsciously products of our environment, culture, area, friendship circle, these things are important, my brother, you know, and just because you come from the hood, a lot of the time it's a justified crutch, You know, don't get it twisted. Of course, there's systemic racism and all these kind of things. But you see my perspective now, my brother. I ain't got time to point fingers at no one, Carl. My accountability is on me, my brother. I always look at the three fingers that are pointing at me as accountability, ownership, and fear to make change. You know, so I check that before looking at anybody.
So when you move from Hackney to Kilburn, obviously everything that you're around and that is normal, but it's normal. It's a normal way of living, but ultimately it's a certain type of living, which is, you know what I'm saying? So a whole load of street shit and that, yeah. At what point, because I know that when you was quite young, you were starting to go through some things within your own mind anyway.
Yeah.
Like, when did that start and like, what did that look like?
I think I've naturally been an emotional kid to turn into an emotional man. But then we're told that the only emotions we're allowed to show are anger. And more time, if you don't know how to navigate through a natural emotion of anger positively, you do it negatively. And a lot of the time the result of that is violence, you know? That's more time kind of how it went for me.
Did you smoke?
Yeah, I used to smoke cannabis, yeah.
So did you ever smoke? Because I know at one point, you know, when everyone used to smoke.
Oh, no, that's the generation above me. Nah, never.
Oh, okay,
No.
okay.
You see drugs? I'm not intrigued, my brother.
Okay.
I'm not intrigued, brother. I ain't smoked weed in 18 years. I smoke cigarette now, and that's it. I don't touch liquor no more either. You know, it's 5 years, no liquor for me. 6 next week.
Oh, serious?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Because I always try to see if there's any, because if there's no link, you see, like when it comes to the mental health aspect of things, if your parents never went through it, or there isn't like a trace in there, you didn't see it from your grandparents or whatever, I know that there's like so many different contributing factors to how things can happen, but I'm always curious to know like what it looks like when you start to, when the mental health aspect of what becomes crippling to you starts, and how that manifests into something bigger. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. A lot of the time, or studies say that it stems from childhood, and it's something that builds, you know, because you got to remember your brain's developing from a child, and if certain things are being put on you from then, you don't really know how to navigate through them, innit? 'Cause you're a child, innit? And when you get to a bit older, pressures of life, this, that, and the third, and we all react and deal with things different. As I said before, you know, everyone's patience and tolerance level is different. So for me, I couldn't really say when it started, you know, but in the aspect of when I realized it started, it was too late for me. You know what I'm saying?
Well, when you realised it started, what kind of things was happening?
I was ignorant to the fact that I even had mental health, if I'm honest with you, bro. You know? Because man didn't know what it was. The first man I know now who had mental health was a brother in my state, Nelson Mandela. You know what I'm saying? And he used to talk to himself and do certain things and my man unalived himself and his mother found him. You know? Wow. And that's the first person I remember, and everyone used to call him Mad, whatever his name was.
Yeah.
But
I had one of those in my estate.
I've moved through bare different areas, my brother. And always there's someone in the neighborhood called Mad So-and-so. You know what I'm saying? And man are either nervous of them, laugh at them, or nowadays film them.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? But if that was your brethren or your family member or whatnot, and you double looked at that person, you wouldn't be filming, you wouldn't laugh, you wouldn't find that funny, you'd be running to their aid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's about being aware, man. And remember, even though they're not your immediate circle, I think these are elements of humanity that are kind of missing right now. Empathy, compassion. But there's still people in the community that's someone else's brother, sister, mother, father. You know? Yeah. And just because they're not in your immediate circle, you brush them off. But you know how quickly that could affect your immediate circle. For example, I used to work for a forensic mental health team. Some of the cases that a man has had to hear and help people with, bro, I'm talking like things you couldn't fathom. God, the deepest fact of the matter is the reason why they end up in high secure units is because the quote unquote crime that they committed, they're not getting trialed as a criminal because they didn't have capacity. So hence the saying, a moment of madness. It's really a moment of madness. A sane person wouldn't do that. It doesn't make no sense, and they probably couldn't even justify it. You know? So when we dismiss certain people's situation and we hear something wild that's happened after, that's when it could have been your circle. The person that could have got caught up with them could have been someone you know now. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes a little empathy, a little compassion can stop big things happening.
Yeah, but then there's also the taboo in it. It's like when you come from a certain community in a certain area, and you're not necessarily used to all of that.
Yeah.
You don't really, you don't really know how to deal with that. You just label it what you label it, and you keep it stepping. You just as you said, you're nervous of that person, so you might create a little bit of distance, or you might just have them around, but you know how to deal with them in a certain aspect, but you don't know how to deal with them professionally because you're just still going through what you're going through on the roads. You're just thinking about how you're going to survive whatever it is that you're surviving, or make money however you're going to make money. Do you know what I mean? But I do know that, like, when you was around 19 or whatever, is that when you started to hear voices and that, yeah?
A little bit.
Or was it before?
No, not 19. So I got section when I was 22.
Right.
And it felt like an immediate thing, if I'm being honest with you. I can't really point when it happened. So unfortunately for me, I think, and I've done a lot of research on these things, especially in my self-development journey, some things man block out naturally, everyone as humans, because of it's a coping mechanism, isn't it? Your body blocks certain things for you, so subconscious blocks. Then unfortunately, I got forced medication when I was in hospital. So then there's that aspect as well.
Right.
You know? So, for example, there was a stage where I thought I had mouth cancer.
Right.
Yeah. And there was people I was telling about it. Some people I remember, some people I don't. One of my close friends' mothers said the first time I met her, I showed her my tongue until I got mouth cancer. I generally don't remember that up to this day. You know? My friend's daughter passed away. At a funeral, I had a samurai sword and 2 lock knives. I don't remember that.
Interesting.
You know? I have survivor's guilt for enough things. She got sectioned around the same time as me. But in my opinion, hers is justified. She lost a child. You know what I'm saying? This was 18 years ago, my brother. She's still in and out of services up to this day. I've only been sectioned once. You know? Like, their things deep and it's a bit different, you know? Cause I've seen my dog who I grew up on the road with, he went prison and like she'd have her good times and her bad times. And he was forced to be put in a position where he had to choose between his partner or his youth. You know what I'm saying? And he raises 3 kids on his own now, my brother. You know? And man couldn't have dealt with the cars that life dealt in, my brother. I keep it 100 with you. Yeah, so, but as I said, these are things that give man survivor's guilt. Like we literally got, she might have even got sectioned just before me, her first time. You know? And yeah, these are things that kind of burn, man. These are things that drive, man, at the same time. You know? And it's kind of like a double-edged sword, I guess. Things I'm working on now are kind of like self-compassion and creating boundaries. You know, I'm not really too good on that. As I said, I'm here trying to rectify my wrongs, so everyone kind of comes first. You know what I'm saying? But that can be draining.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's man just got to maintain and push through.
So, because I'm trying to get a full understanding of, like, I'm trying to paint the picture of this particular time, yeah?
Yeah.
And this is, my mum worked in mental health as well. So my mum worked with people who had schizophrenia. My mum worked in, you know, like all different aspects of it, from mental health to sexual health, whatever. So I've always heard a lot of stories. She worked in Broadmoor as well.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So like,
yeah, so
it's been a thing that's been around me for a long time. Yeah, and it's like, it's so, I think one of the things that I have in common with my mum and my uncle as well, my Uncle Peter, is that like, we find a certain aspect of life fascinating, yeah, and in that can be like, you know, like crime, but from a place of people not necessarily being mentally stable. Yeah. So we will always have those kind of conversations. We talk about serial killers and all that type of stuff. Hence why I always, you know, my thing about the courts and like I follow court cases and stuff like that. But usually the trials that I look for are the ones that are the most interesting, like really, really interesting. And sometimes that interest comes from sometimes working out whether this person is wicked or there's something that was going on that is so much more deeper that needs to be looked at from a different perspective. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the one thing that I found interesting what you said, is that like it sounds as though when there were certain things that were happening in your life, you didn't even know some of these things was even happening. So you might turn up with something, or you might go or show someone something, whatever it may be, but you don't even remember that is what you was even doing in the first place, right?
But it was natural for me to move a certain way, but then in that period there was very heightened, you know. Like I got sectioned for attempting to attack a police officer with a samurai sword. That's why they nicked man in section, man. You know, have I done some weird things that would be classed as crazy? Definitely.
Why, if you don't mind me asking,
no questions too invasive, man.
Why did they go to that? Why did they go to let's section him? Like, why did they not think, oh, this is just a dangerous man with a samurai sword?
Because I was actively talking to myself.
Right.
Yeah. I hadn't slept for like at least 6 days. You know, sleep deprivation is a form of torture soldiers used to do it to their captives.
100, yeah.
You know, and you know, like dumb curb language, my brother. Man will sleep when man's dead. Man's out here making paper.
Yeah. You know I used to hear that all the time. Man will sleep when I'm dead. Oh my God. Hey, we make me sick sometimes. That's crazy. Yeah. And that's
a serious book that everybody should read, my brother. It's called Why We Sleep. It's by a brother called Matthew Walker. The first 5 pages will shock you.
While we sleep, yeah.
Like, it's a serious thing, what it does to your physical body, what it does to your mental.
Matthew Walker,
yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you logged that already.
Yeah, I'm a book. That's me, bro.
All right, cool.
Like when someone recommends thing, that I'm in that. Yeah, put it on the screen. What triggered all of this, though? What do you think? What do you think triggered that for you?
Probably stuff from my childhood I didn't even deep. Then things that were going on that just got me to breaking point, and then not having no one. Let me reword that. My mum's my queen, and she's always created spaces where I can have honest, deep conversations with her. But then certain things, they're just not for your mother. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, this is why we have a lot of different people we'll share things with. You'll share something with your mum, you wouldn't share with your dad, vice versa. Something with your brother, you might not share with your sister. Certain things you'll share with your dog, you wouldn't share with a partner. You know what I'm saying, Carl? Same thing, defense mechanism, my brother. It's scary to give someone all you. That's a vulnerable space to be in. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of us go through things where you've tried and you get burnt for doing it. You know what I'm saying? And then never mind the dynamics of what society is showing you of how you should be as a man and how you should move. Never mind culture. And as black men, these are other added layers. These are other added weights. You know what I'm saying? So more time you have to hold it and crack on, bro. Then everyone's different. Certain things that are going on. And yeah, for me, it just, it got too much, and I thought I couldn't share with no one. And I reacted how I reacted. Yeah. I had to pay for that. I got more time. Men don't seek help, they're forced help. You know? And yeah, I was forced help in that situation there. And I got punished in another situation. So it's just like, it is what it is.
You got what? So you
punished in another situation.
What do you mean by that?
I say that, men don't seek help. Men are forced help or punished. Forced help is, in my opinion, forced help is hospital.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't seek that help. You got forced that. How you crashed out or you went through a certain thing. You get me? And then, for a lot of man, punishment's prison. You know? For me, prison was beneficial. It's the first time where I was able to reflect and take time and get back to things that I like doing, because I used to love reading from a youth, man. I'm heavy on reading, my brother.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Heavy. That's my thing.
Yeah.
You know? And I like to write. I'm writing a book, you know what I'm saying? Called Diary of a Broken Mind.
Right.
I put some of it out on social media. I got a brother to film me reading some of it on my blog.
Okay.
You know, and yeah, I do book reviews.
Okay.
So that's what I used to do in jail. Read the book, log things down. A word that I like, I'm gonna log that. Part of the book I like, I'm gonna log that. And I read the same books over every few years. Cause as you grow in age, you take different things from something that you read.
100%. Yeah.
And I read self-development books, books on my faith.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at with it. I had to like, mind reprogramming is a real thing, my brother.
Yeah.
Cause man, I had to deep that. A lot of man's thought processes, man thought was mine, weren't mine, my brother. It was my family's, it was man's hoods, it was man's culture.
Yeah.
You know?
100%. When you grow up, like that happens, innit? You grow up and you just adopt everything that's just around you, and you just take what everyone says as gospel until you start to, maybe you might meet other people that will open your eyes or make open your perspective a little bit, make you shift that a little piece. But sometimes in some people's world, that is, certain things are just that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it might not make sense to anyone else, but it makes all the sense in the world to them.
Yeah.
What was when you got sectioned?
Yeah.
Paint that picture. What did that look like? Where was you?
As in what happened or when I got
No, because we know we're not happy with the, because you got sectioned with the samurai sword with the police, right?
Yeah.
So when that actually happened, what did that look like? Where was you?
It was scatty. So I'd done something scatty in Kilburn.
Yeah.
So I needed to cut. So I called a cab and I've left. And I'm going back to Hackney. And on the way there, the cabman's ended up going past one gal's yard I was seeing at the time. And she had my chain, which was my friend who got murdered. He got stabbed 16 times by a drug addict. So I've told him, pull over. I've gone to the yard and our older brother's opened the door and bad man up with his big dog in his hand. And it's basically slammed the door in my face. And it's summer, broad daylight. I mean, we're in Kentish Town at this point. 2 roads from the police station. I've gone cool, gone back to the taxi, popped the boot, taken out the samurai and gone back. Stuck it on him. Got like moments, Jakes have come. I've swung for the first Jake that's got out his car. They've backed up, obviously. More Jakes have come and they've just blocked me in on the road, but they're shook to approach me now. I'm talking nonsense. And then I phone my dog. He's come with his gal. And when she see me, she just started crying. So I kind of just sat on the wall. I had a spliff already, so I was just spun in the spliff. Them times there, I was smoking this thing called sativa. I don't know if you remember that. There was like a sativa and lemon haze era.
I do remember that, yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, that was my thing still. And I'd get a little cess on a weekend.
100, yeah.
Every weekend I'd get a little QSS, man, I'd go bridge.
Yeah.
Grab that. And that was I was heavy on the weed. I thought I was gonna be our old yard man with chalice. I'm not gonna lie to you, my brother. Like that was, but then the same thing, that's culture. Because why would I even have thought that was gonna be at me at them big ages? But it's just because of what man see, brother, and what man grew, and man thought like this ain't no, like this is just normal to man, isn't it? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, they sent over a female officer to approach me, and it worked in their favor.
Softened you up.
But no, it's poor risk management to be on their part, because they didn't know me from Adam. You know what I'm saying? So if I would have done something to her, she'd have been a casualty because they were too far from her.
Oh, okay,
me, sorry,
yeah. So it would have been mad for her. Yeah.
But mental health or no mental health, man ain't putting no hand on no woman, my brother. You know what I'm saying? I've seen my mother go through domestic violence. That's why we left Hackney to come to Kilburn in the first place.
Yes, but you obviously though, in some situations, when you are hear what I'm saying. Let me handle it. Yeah? In some situations, when you are mentally going through something different, you don't even have the cognitive ability to even think. You know what? Yeah, you're not gonna get it because of.
I can only speak for me. Yeah, I can only speak for me.
Because some would have chopped same way.
Yeah.
Because they would have just seen it as, they would have seen it as, their mind would have processed it as an object. More than it was, more than a thing. Do you get what I'm saying?
No, that's facts. And as you said, your mum worked in Broadmoor, and I've heard stories because I've worked with clients who have come from Broadmoor, and man, I got stabbed up by a gentleman and found out the guy hallucinates, and he thought he sees zombies. So that's man, woman, it's zombie's a zombie. You know, so I get it in those extreme cases still. But that weren't man's case.
So they've obviously, the woman's come over now.
And I don't remember what she was saying for the life of me, but I remember her tone, her approach being calming. But that's, when you think about it, it's kind of like essence of a woman, isn't it? Nurturing, soft tone, whatnot. And yeah, I left Sam on the side, led me to the van, didn't handcuff me, took the spliff out my mouth, and off we went.
Right, okay.
You know?
So then, and where did they take you?
Kentish Town Police Station.
And then what happened after that?
Moving erratic. Slamming the mattress on the door as long as I could, kicking the door till I mashed up my foot, cussing, didn't eat nothing. The only time they were coming to the flat was to ask me if I want food. They found some money on me. I thought I was going to jail because obviously, as I said, I'd done something scatty in the end before which is why I was going to Hackney in the first place. Held me for like 24 hours. I finally knocked out, woke up disorientated. Police station now. Remember, no TV, no, like, man, don't know if it's day or night. And then, yeah, boom, off we went. Think I'm going Ville or whatever. And they take man to Archway. And man, see Whittington Hospital.
You saw what?
Whittington Hospital.
Okay.
I'm thinking, okay, maybe we're still going, you get me? And then we're going some next route. We're going up some hill. And they pull in. And I'm like, what's going on here? Man, get onto some. It's night, remember, man. See, like, it's just looking weird. Man, get into this ward, my brother. I'm just trying to make sense of where I am, you know. And I remember seeing like a woman kind of twitching, talking to herself. There was one big guy there, and there's the next man just sitting, staring into space. And what kind of got my attention was when they were like, "Oh, here's his things." So the Jakes are talking to the nurse behind the desk, innit? And obviously, so I ran through the things because obviously like them times there I'm in a white tracksuit, you know, like the police things. And pimps they're taking all my things, obviously, innit? And yeah, I'm running through the bag to see if my money's there. It's not there, so I kicked off. Alarm's gone off. And some big woman's come through with 2 other guys, and the woman's got a needle in her hand. So I now know that's called a rapid tranquilizer. It's like a sedative. It will knock you out, innit? And normally you end up in seclusion, which is like a padded room. And
so, but they've got, obviously, before they can inject that in you, they've got to put you in a certain. They've got to lock you down.
Yeah, you get restraint first.
Yeah.
Yeah. They'll restrain you and do that to you. But this big patient's caught me off guard, and he's put me in a headlock. So while I'm barking at him trying to get out of it, he's chanting in my ear, brother, calm down, cause if they give you that, you're not going to be you again. And he kept saying, I see his face up to now, brother, but I don't remember his name. The light skinned man with freckles, bald head. And yeah, he turned me away from him, so his back was towards them, so they couldn't get to me.
Oh, so he didn't really want them. He didn't really want them.
He protected me, and he was a patient.
Right. Oh, he was a patient.
Yes, mother.
Mad.
Yeah. But he may have been in his like early 40s. Sometimes he was a big man. You know what I'm saying?
So they didn't inject you with it then?
No, he didn't let me go till they calmed down.
So in that moment now, you've realised the type of place that you're in now, though, right?
Yeah.
Did that trigger you even more?
Of course.
Because in that moment, yeah, I'm assuming that you're thinking that there is nothing wrong with you.
Of course. That's the only time that I've ever in my life said to the Jakes, yo, I'm coming with you, my brother. I can't stay here. Man think it's a joke, my brother. I was saying to them like, yo, man can't leave me here.
Yeah.
It's funny now, but it's like, brother,
yeah, of course.
Brother, like. Yeah.
But you know what? Do you know what? I'm going to offer some grace, which I know that some people would not offer them. Yeah. I think that in certain situations and scenarios, yeah, it's difficult for them to do that. I think in some situations, yeah, that there are certain officers that build a bond with a certain type of person, and they now have to take that person to this place. And now once you drop them off, that person is saying, rah, what, you're going to just leave me here kind of thing. And that might be quite difficult for them as well, because they're like, you know what? In all of what you're going through, you're actually cool. Do you know what I mean? But you're going through something that is so deep, yeah, that this is just the process. So I have to just leave you here. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, with some people, I could see that. With me, I wouldn't have seen that because I was just making up noise. We didn't build no rapport. I'm being verbally abusive. You know what I'm saying? But the only thing that may have named, if they would have felt any type of way, is because I would have looked like a young guy at them times. Even though I was 22, I looked younger. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah. But other than that, yeah.
Yeah, they would have just seen you as an absolute madman who's going through all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, definitely. You know what I'm
So
saying?
then what kind of, how long did you stay there for?
3 months, but I was on a 28-day section.
What was
but they
like...
reinstated it.
Huh?
They reinstated it 3 times.
Okay. Could you tell me about one of the craziest things that you saw when you was there?
One youth I got cool with, he got a rapid tranquilizer. And I think I didn't see him for like 2 days. And the next time I saw him, he walked past me. Like, he never know, man. Like, me and him didn't used to chop it up. Like, we used to smoke weed together in the smoking room. That's why they was reinstating my days. Yeah, bro.
How did you have weed in there still? You plugged that?
No.
Hey, the man always seem to find a way. You know what I'm saying?
Visits, innit? Visits. So they stopped that after a while still.
Yeah. So then, he just walked past you.
Yeah.
Like, and that was it.
Yeah. Me and him never spoke again.
Man.
And then I got changed hospital because of the borough I'm from. You know, so then they moved me to Royal Free. There's a mental health hospital behind Royal Free Hospital. And then they moved me there.
What was that like?
It's calmer to the other one. I'll be honest with you. The first hospital I was in, other than that youth there and the big patient, I didn't chat to no one else. I was more on edge or reacting violent if anyone got close to me. You can't trust no one, bro. That's the difference between mental health hospitals and prison. You could, God forbid, step on a wing in a prison right now, and someone tried to move to us. After it's got broken up, man got blocked. Even if we got to the next wing, we're gonna find out what the reason was. Even if man don't know who it was, someone's gonna tell us why man tried to set pace on man. And it might be classed as stupidness, but we understand it command from the curb. In a hospital, if you find out what they think their reason is why they done it to you, it's never gonna make sense to you, my brother. As I said, a man got stabbed up because a man thought he was a zombie. You know, a man will be hearing voices and someone walk past him and he'll knock man's face off and carry on with his day like it was just initial reaction because in his head that's what he got told to do.
Yeah. That's the part.
This is where it starts to get techie.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the difference between there and jail. Like, I've got dogs I met in jail are gonna be man's dog for life. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's yeah, you can't have those kind of bonds in them places there.
Yeah. It's interesting still, like I wanna unpack more of that in a moment actually, but just these things that most people will just never understand. Somebody can see stuff. You know, okay, I've told this so many times yet, but I'll just lightly say it again.
Yeah.
I genuinely believe that I felt what it was like to go through something like that for a short space of time. And it was because, my brethren gave me a weed cake and didn't tell me, But this weed cake wasn't a normal thing. This is for people who, like, you know, like you can go down, you can get some
Their tolerance level's ready for it.
Do you understand what I'm saying? This one was made for somebody who, you know, like when you really smoke weed heavy. So you make something for yourself that's gonna just spin your own head. So could you imagine giving that to somebody who don't even smoke weed anymore? I didn't smoke weed for years. So my tolerance level wasn't there. So anyway, my thing, I'm spazzing all the way off. At first, I was seeing all kinds of stuff. So for example, like, this isn't the point of what I was going to say, because there's another point which is more serious. This is just an idiot thing, but it was like ultimately, even though it sounds stupid, the reality is I know it's stupid, but I can see it though.
Yeah.
So like when I've realised that I'm spazzing out and that something's not right or whatnot, I've jumped up out of the whip. I mean on the A40 on the motorway, I've jumped up out of the whip
in the mix of
in
the high.
Because what's happened is now I'm with my brethren, and his thing's kicking. It's just something's happening. So I've tapped my brethren. I'm saying to him, "That's something's not right." You know, like I'm just saying, like I just know something's not right. So I'm tapping him. I'm saying, "Bro, there was something in them cakes." There was something in them cakes. Anyway, I've jumped out of the whip now.
Yeah, man, shouldn't be
in the middle of the road. The car's in the middle of the road. Yeah, I'm on the pavement. I just ran on the pavement, bro. On my life, if I'm lying, I'm dying, bro. I've seen feet. So you know, like like when the cars are driving by and that, I'm seeing feet.
Well, underneath it.
Underneath it. So you remember
like Fred the Prince?
Yeah. So I'm seeing that. So obviously, in my mind, like.
Scary.
In a different, you see, like if I knew what was happening, I could look at that and laugh.
Yeah.
But because I don't know what's going on, but I can see it, I'm thinking,
can
anyone else see that? This is insane.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? But anyway, so obviously I'm going because I don't know what's happening to me. But the one point that I would mention that is more on a serious thing is that there was a moment in which I couldn't speak, and when I couldn't speak, there was like. I was raging though. So I was like, honestly, if you would have given me something, I was going to do something. Because I couldn't help it. Yeah. I just knew if you gave me a weapon or whatever it was, I was going to do something insanely mad. But there was another part of my brain that was like, that just knew that it wasn't real. So it was like, I was almost saying to myself, right, this must be what it's like to be to be going through something mentally unstable. But then panic sets in because I'm like, right, what if I can't get out of this? Because I'm going through this, but there's another part of like, I can't tell my brethren because I can't speak. I can't control the emotion because I'm mad angry. Yeah. But there's another part in my mind that knows that it's not real. And I'm thinking to myself, what if this is me forever? Yeah, that's scary. Now I'm going through all kinds of fortune. I'm talking about unaliving fortune. I'm thinking I can't deal with this. Like I can't deal with this. So if my brethren wasn't there to be around me while all of this was happening, brother, I don't know what I would have done. And that's why I always keep bringing up this story all the time, because I'm like, that was a very, 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 very serious thing. And luckily for me, it was just a small period that made me understand the brain is so fragile. Yeah. Do you get me? But that's not the story for everyone.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? Some people's stories are, this is what they're seeing, they're hearing stuff.
And that's one type of situation, you know what I'm saying? If you did do something left and not get nicked, they would have called it a drug-induced psychotic episode, yeah? But like, there are a lot of people who go through mental health with nothing to do with drugs, nothing to do with liquor, just trauma or circumstances. Like, the deepest thing is, brother, no one is exempt from mental health. Unfortunately, life is set up to mentally challenge you. And depending on how you're set up, you will navigate through that, or you could potentially get in a space where you could have some mental health issue. But everyone will be mentally challenged in their life. That's natural and unfortunate. You know, it's inevitable. A man lose their parents, you can be mentally challenged.
100.
You know, you lose a loved one. Look at the rate of cancer right now. All these things are mentally challenging, my bro. You know, it can lead you quick to depression, to wanting to unalive yourself, to wanting to do this, that, and the third. You know, even financial situations, job-wise, being homeless. Like, never mind left things happening to people trauma-wise. You know, all these are factors. Like, so I've worked with like AMPS. They're people who conduct a mental health assessment alongside a doctor, and they make the decision whether you get sectioned or not. They've had to section doctors and psychologists just based on the caseload. I remember, man, I'm working with people who have done some serious things or in some serious spaces. You can't clock off at 5 and go to your yard and not have that in your head. You're not. You have to be a seriously cold kind of person to kind of detach from certain things that you're hearing or dealing with people at work, bro. And that's why a lot of them, it affects them. Then they can't sleep. They get detached, you know? Especially a lot of the female psychologists and that, especially when it comes to things that happen to kids and all them kind of thing there. You know what I'm saying, bro? Yeah, it can get techie, my brother.
Did you when you went in prison? Yeah. Did you see people or come across people in prison that you felt maybe not necessarily should have been in prison? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that maybe was dealing with something that was completely different to them being in that situation that they was in. And what did that look like? Like,
Yeah,
what kind of people did you meet?
100%.
What made you think that?
There's people in prison that have got mental health, and there's a flat downstairs next to where you're going to get your grub from, and they go and get their meds every day. You know what I'm saying? So you know there's people on your wing with mental health. But then a lot of the time there's substance misuse with these guys. A lot of them are like smokers and whatnot. But then at the same time, there's other people there who have got actual mental health that shouldn't be in jail, but they're there.
Can you tell me about a person that you might have met or a situation that you saw which made you, like a direct situation with a person that you met that was going through a serious mental health issue in prison?
I wouldn't say a serious mental health issue that man see, but then like clear stuff. Depression, talking to themselves, no hygiene, twitch, you know, and them not being a smoker. So it's like, what's justifying this now? You know what I'm saying? And I remember this is something I'm observing with a person as a person who's paranoid schizophrenic with mental health. When I'm in jail, I'm not a professional working in this field, so I'm not looking at it through that lens. You know what I mean? And then you'll see guys who are just cool, and they go and get their meds every day, and they're alright, they cut through. And then there'll be other guys who indulge in hard drugs and take meds, and I don't know what the combination of that's doing to them. You know? So yeah, it's different. It's different dynamics, man. But then yeah, I don't know. There's the mental health situation. It can be. It's not black and white, bro. Remember, there's a whole heap of different diagnoses. Bipolar disorder. Some people can have two. Some people can be paranoid schizophrenic and bipolar. You know, and then that's where things cross over. And then you might have substance misuse, trauma. How many times have they been sectioned? What did they go through? And unfortunately, ethnic minorities, Muslims and asylum seekers are oppressed more time in these spaces. And that's prison and mental health service.
Why is that?
Because the lack of understanding isn't there, and the negative stigmas and stereotypes that are put up on us. You know, black man's strong, black man's angry, even if he's passionate, it can come across as aggressive. You know? And scared people are the worst people. You know, especially to be in a position of power to be able to restrain man. That's why you see so much black man by police in the community, especially when it comes to mental health. The one that they done in Broome, the one where they tasered the guy here and he fell in the Thames, you know, and these are all guys with no weapons. And it goes both ways, fam, because it's like, unfortunately, the vulnerable person who's deemed a madman can get unalived. But the violent madman, it saves him, if that makes sense. You know? And even these, it's like it's another element of survivor's guilt, you know? And it gets techie, bro. Situations that I work in, situations that I see happen, and it's just like, right, man, got another touch. It shows, man.
So how did you, like, what did your road to recovery look like?
Utilising my support system.
How did you know what your support system, how do you do that?
Mum.
How did you do that?
At first it was my mum. She took me to Jamaica when I got discharged from hospital. You know, obviously I was forced to stop smoking cannabis in hospital, otherwise I wouldn't have gone.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't even blame cannabis on me being sectioned. It was a dynamic, but it weren't just that. You know what I'm saying? Because I heard voices for many years after that. You know, after I'd been sectioned, or years after I stopped smoking weed.
What kind of things? See, when you heard voices, what kind of voice was it? Because I know that you can have all different types. Like some are not necessarily I guess it sometimes depends on people's meds and stuff like that too. But from what I've been told in the past is that like sometimes the voices ain't always all rage. They're just like voices that might just pop up and just have a I don't want to say have a conversation with you, but just tell you something. Or it's just you get what I'm saying?
I think that's your almost like your normal inner voice, if that makes sense.
So then what's the difference?
When there's 3-4 of them constantly, my brother, and it sounds like it's war going on in your dome.
Okay.
You know, your head's hurting. Like it's a headache, but not because you got a toothache and it's throbbing.
Yeah.
It's car. People are shouting in your head, my brother.
Oh, and they're like shouting and that.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
You know.
Now, bruv.
You know that throbbing that you get when you get a toothache.
Yeah.
And it all goes down here, and your head's just pounding. I think that's the closest kind of metaphor I could kind of give to it. Where it's just...
And over time, did it gradually just lightly stop becoming so prominent?
Yeah.
With it, like utilizing support system and being like really active in your rehabilitation?
100%.
Right.
100%.
So you said it started off with your mum, yeah?
Yeah.
And then you went to Jamaica and whatever. But what else was you doing in order to like lean into rehabilitation?
I didn't start that until I went back to prison, if I'm honest with you, my bro.
So you came out.
No, there was a 6-year gap. I got a section when I was 22. I went to jail when I was 28.
Oh, okay.
I had to manage my mental health for 6 years because I went back on the curb. And what I ended up doing, what my mum told me to be mindful of, is that you don't replace this negative coping mechanism with another. And I picked up liquor. And I didn't. I first had a drink of alcohol when I was 22 years old. I'd never touched it before that. Outside with a dog, them lemonade and running a spliff. That was my thing. You know, but I hid it well because man used to make money. So man's in Mayfair Tuesday to Sunday. You know, my thing like, I would have a bottle of Cristal on the table and I stole the little thing from Nino Brown. I put a straw in it, and that was the element of the illusion. But behind that is bare hard liquor. You know, so it's a good night. I go home with a girl. It's a bad night. I'm gonna knock out for 4 hours. Come man's stressed. You know what I'm saying? But me and my house on my own, with my thoughts, is a no-no, my brother. You know, and I wouldn't drink on my own, so no one could even deep or really see that man's alcoholic. But that's what it became. You know, man's tolerance rate went high, my brother, to the point where like man all created drinks from what I called Murder Tonic. Man's mixing Ray and Nephew, Magnum, Red Bull, and knocking it down, my brother. You know what I'm saying? And drinking daily. You know, got man's out in the night. Man might be in a strip club, or man's with a gal bar hopping. But that's man's life. You know what I'm saying? When it's time to clock off, man gives someone that. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is.
Did any of the women that you was around, did any of them know that you were masking anything? Did any of them get close enough to get to...
There's no one to get, they're not getting close. It's a good time over here, isn't it, my brother?
Right, I hear it. Yeah.
Link man's bar hopping, we're stepping out, and
money's getting spent, like...
Not even money getting, we're having a good time.
Yeah.
Link man is good times, isn't it? You're either going to be with me and man's dogs, or man stepping out, or it's just we can bar. Where you want to go? It's not that, it's, you know what I'm saying? It's not this era of like high-end restaurants. Man's not on that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's a bar hopping, whole of vibe, and then it is what it is. And no, there was no room for deep conversations. There was no room for a serious connection. It was literally a good time. You know what I'm saying? But then they call it trauma bonding, don't it? Yeah,
of course.
And I don't know what theirs was. You know what I'm saying? That's keeping it 100.
That's true still. It's like, it's a good time, but it's actually dark.
Yeah.
It's actually dark. It's actually dark. Because in that, quite a lot of you are just all trauma bonding and just having a great moment.
Yeah.
And then going back home on your own at certain points and having to deal with it and still masking it. Still trying to find ways to mask it in that. So, okay, so now I've got a better understanding. So just to be clear, you got sectioned, came out still was on doing what you was doing, picked up a different thing, so it wasn't really smoking so
I
much.
tried to
started
change
drinking.
before that for a little while.
Tried
So
to.
yeah, it's like I went church for a little while.
Yeah.
I met some guys, and one of them was on the curb, and that was a bit of a left story as well. But yeah, I tried to focus on the positive. You know what I'm saying? But as I said, the story is that man's past, my bro. You get me?
Yeah. So it sounds like you were obviously at certain moments thinking about trying to do whatever you thought the right thing was.
Yes.
Trying to lean into a place that felt a bit more comfortable. But in essence, ultimately, it's like an elastic band, innit? You stretch the elastic band, but once you let it go, you're still going to move back here because that's a lot of what you know.
Yeah.
And then you picked up a different thing, so it wasn't even so much smoking so much anymore. Drinking some liquor, being outside, whatnot. Then obviously now you've ended up going and getting shift and then spending some time in prison.
Yeah.
Can you just quickly, like, you've kind of talked about it before, but just lightly again, yeah. What kind of other differences did you notice between being in a hospital and being in the prison?
Yeah. Medication 1, mixed diagnosis 2. Same way you're in a wing in jail with bare different types of criminals. You're in a hospital with bare different type of diagnosis, bare different people on different medication. You know, some wards will be mixed, others will be just men. Then there's PQ. You know what I'm saying? You get a cracking in jail, it gets broke up, you go block. You get a cracking in hospital, you're gonna get a next type of medication or an injection. You know, these are clear differences. These things are taking things from you. You know what I'm saying? These are high level sedatives. They'll knock you out, my brother. Equivalent to like something that may knock out a certain type of animal. You know what I'm saying? Part of that, of course, is going to have a mental effect on you. Part of it has a physical effect on you.
Yeah.
Those are like the main clear differences. You know? Then how do you find people to talk to a lot of times as well? Because certain of these medications, my brother, they make your tongue numb in your mouth, so you have speech difficulty.
Okay.
So now you can't even communicate. How are you supposed to start route to recovery if you can't even communicate what's going on with you? Or for example, I link you and I'm saying to you, like, what's happened? Talk to me, well, go on. And I can't even understand you because your tongue's numb in your mouth. That's going to get you more frustrated and more mad. But you know what you're trying to say. But the medication's got your tongue numb in your mouth, so you can't even explain it to me.
Yeah.
You know? These are big issues, you know? I find that there needs to be more medication reviews. We're in 2025. There should be a balance where, I get it, risk has to override route to recovery in a lot of the circumstances, you know? But the lens of the risk is subjective because of the person, as I said prior, when it comes to restraint and all those kind of things. The lens on the medication that the doctor is given, I think that's subjective to a degree as well. Like, there's so much black people that are quickly thrown under the paranoid schizophrenic diagnosis. You know, I've seen man go from jail who's never had mental health into Broadmoor and done 5 years. You know, I think there's a thin line between behavior and mental health in the eyes of the system. What they can't contain or can't manage as a man being too angry and too violent, it's just like, nah, he's not well.
Fling him in there. Yeah.
But who's giving him the time of day? You know?
Rehabilitation has to be something that is at the forefront of the mind of the country, really, when trying to get people out of prison, innit? Yeah. And out of hospital too, right? Because if you don't get the right rehabilitation, not everyone is lucky enough to be able to find the support system, innit? Yeah.
100.
Not everyone knows even how to use the system to benefit them in a certain type of way. So if you come out, then it's going to be a repeated cycle again from different angles. So it could be and then let's just talk about from the context of the mental health aspect. It's like if you come out and you don't have the right habit, and this is the other thing actually. This has come to my mind. It's like sometimes even in the rehabilitation, I could imagine that the services itself probably isn't funded enough for the people that work in the sector to be able to give the right rehabilitation at certain points, because everything is understaffed and underfunded.
Yeah.
What
But
do
in
you
my
think about
opinion,
that?
that's still an excuse,
Okay.
you know? Bro, man needs to just be having honest and open, vulnerable conversations and keeping it 100, you know? A lot of the time, in my opinion, the truth gets brushed under the carpet. Like, there's a lot of people that can be helped, you know? There's a lot of people that can go through route to recovery. There's a lot of people that can make that transition and rehabilitate. And there's certain people that just, they are how they are and they don't want to change, my brother. You know, and that's not on the mental health side, that's on the criminal side, you know? And then, unfortunately, sad reality is some of us have to go through some serious reality checks. Just say, all right, cool, I'm going to change now. You're Jamaican, you know the thing. Who don't hear must feel, my brother. The deepest fact of the matter, though, at the same time, is that a lot of us end up having to do that. And that's where parts of other things come into it, like society, culture, you know? More time, man, who end up having, don't hear who feel, is because they won't share. You know? So if they don't share, what can't they do? They can't heal. God, healing is a sharing process. You know what I'm saying? How much black man go therapy? A black man, yeah, is 4 times more likely than a white man to have a psychotic episode in the community. Yeah? Psychotic episodes in the community, the rate is crazy. The amount of black and ethnic minorities in mental health hospitals and prisons compared to any other race don't even make no sense. A white man is 4 times more likely to receive therapy or psychology than a black. Because the other dynamics that are against us are for them. They won't get sunned as much for being open, honest, and vulnerable. I'll give you an analogy that I deeped. See Mike Tyson? Since he retired and he's gone on his podcast and he's having all these conversations, he's breaking down Barley and he's talking about this, that, and the third on his past and rare. People will make jokes from behind their computer screen or their phone or on the internet on him. See all the men that he has with him? This gangster, this rapper, this man. You see how they're sitting there when he's talking about certain things? Let that have been anybody else, they would have grilled them. Let that have been a man that has never shown violence or they don't know him to be violent and he was talking and moving or breaking down balling in front of them like that. What do you think they would have, how do you think they would have dealt with that person?
Yeah, I hear it.
You're an idiot, you're soft, you're a pussy, fix up. You think they would have, they know better because unfortunately some men have to show extreme levels of violence.
Yeah, before you
to be able to be vulnerable where a man ain't gonna disrespect you.
Yeah.
And that's messed up, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
even then though, it's still like, even then sometimes you just
there'll still be one.
Yeah.
There'll still be one, yeah. But I'm just using him as an example. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In that aspect. And my thing now is about redirecting the strengths and the weaknesses.
Yeah.
You know? It's not a weakness to be open, honest, and vulnerable, because it puts you in a position of power. From that power is an aspect of prevention for yourself or assistance for somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is why the rate of men's suicide is so high. Because man either feel like they got no one to chat to or they can't chat to no one.
Yeah.
Or how they're going to get this for speaking these things.
Yeah.
You know? These times it'll be a man who's cool, like that you feels cool. Nothing's going on. You and him, it's your dog, your brother, together every day. He's done the same normal thing, and then boom, tomorrow he's gone, and you're thinking, how? You couldn't even deep nothing. But it's the same thing. Men have to be creating safe, vulnerable spaces for people to have conversations, because we share different things with different people. I'll share something with you I wouldn't share with this person, vice versa, and so and so. But if there's places and space that you feel you can't go to, it's deep, fam. And there are some nowadays, you know, like there's a group called Black Men Chat 2. It's in North London. And I went there, you know, and I was shocked, bro. Like, some old school yard man, some man my age, couple young youths. And I was like, why ain't there one of these in Northwest? Why ain't there one of these in East? Why ain't there one in the South? And like, the man who set this up big up Courtney, he's having to do it in other areas now. You know what I'm saying?
What kind of things do they do?
They create that safe space where man can reason, my brother, and express themselves how they want to express themselves and get things off their chest. And I found it a bit awkward at first, you know. But bro, it benefited, man. And I've done trauma therapy. I've seen psychologists for years. Done mindfulness, done CBT, DBT. I've gone on my own self-development journey personally. You know, I've gone to recovery college, self-compassion, death and bereavement.
What do you think worked the most for you?
Different phases of my life, bro. The more you grow, the more you find out you don't know. That's why reflection is very important.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why, hence why I say I don't like them audio books. Cause I need to go back to it, and I like to keep it, and I'm gonna get a different perspective on it at a later date, and you know, and even now, bro, man, last year's been mad. I can't even lie to you. You know what I'm saying?
What do you mean?
I've had a lot on.
Right.
I've lost my uncle to cancer. You know, I lost my gran. My grand sister's got cancer right now. Her son's got prostate. You know, I had to get checked for cancer because I got an inherited cancer gene in my family. It's called a BRCA2 gene. You know, alhamdulillah, I'm good. But now I'm in the process. They've just sent me the letter. I've got to go to the genetic clinic to find out if I got this gene. Cancer's gone down to like, what, 1 in every 4, I think now, maybe even less.
Yeah.
Man's got the gene. What is that? What's that looking like? You know? I've had some other stuff going that I can't really even talk about. Then man's just had the situation in Jamaica that's affected my mother.
Of course, yeah.
You know? But as I said, bro, like, yeah, life's tough, and my thing is faith first for me, my brother. You know, and I stand on it, and the climate that we're in, my bro, I have to stand strong in aspects. And my Muslim name's HAMZA. It means lion. You know, and as I said, I'm pushing a different type of strength. But then as a man, I have both. You feel me? And it's about empowering and equipping our community, and that's why I was happy to come in this space here, cause your thing's the culture, my brother. You know, and us as black people, we're not deep in where the divide and conquer is hurting us. You know what I'm saying? As I said to you before, my brother, I'm not here to point fingers at the system, and I'm trying to bring what I can to the community to shift perspective and rebuild back, re-empower, and on both sides, one for the mental health, one for the rehabilitation thing from prison car. Man, I have to remember it's transferable skills. And man on the curb, unfortunately, there's going to be a stage in life when you're going to have to do the ledge thing. What's man waiting for?
Yeah, for real. Because I got in my notes, so you mentioned it as well, that your first legitimate job was when you were 34. Yeah. I've been telling people all the time as well, like, especially some of the youths that are like involved in certain things. I'm like, look, I get it. Trust me, I do, yeah. But really, you see right now, especially with the way that the game is on the road and that, you're probably sometimes just better off just getting a legit job anyway, because one, you're probably going to make more money than this. And two, it's just
long
less
term,
stress.
yeah.
Long term. I mean, obviously, I understand there's a certain other aspect of it where some man are making.
My thing is, I don't sugarcoat nothing, bro.
Yes.
And I say to the youth, because I said I work with youths in care homes as well.
Yeah.
There's paper out there, don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
But the pain that comes with it is imbalanced.
Yeah.
And you're only going to see that when you leave the road. And you'll see what it took from you.
But also the reality
you,
is, bro, that enough, like, let's be clear here, yeah? Enough of them actually ain't really making paper. There's paper to be made, and someone is making paper. Someone is, but the average one ain't making dough. You know what? The harsh reality
I hear what you're saying.
The harsh reality is, yeah, when you look at the year in how much you actually made profit, not when you go and pick up the thing from my man. and he's giving it to you on consignment or whatever, yeah, on tick now, and then you're doing what you're doing. You think that all that money's yours, but really you got to peel off that. But what happened is you spent into that now.
Yeah. And the L's you took that, my man
Right,
ain't taking
you
with
took an L
you.
in
He's
there.
not taking them with you.
Yeah, he's not taking that. The Connect ain't taking the L. The Connect is coming and just getting the money.
He's
That's all that
taking it
is.
with you,
He's
yeah.
getting the full whack every time.
Regardless of what happens once.
Regardless of what happens.
Yeah.
But what's happened is now you've got the thing now, boom, you're breaking it down because the line ain't booming for a lot of them. So then you've now dipped into your thing. You've dipped into the revenue. Yeah. So that
Stop.
means that
You're
when the
gonna make me
profit
cry,
comes now, because when the profit comes now, really everything you've got there, which is the stack, you got to give that back to the Connect to go and buy the next thing and whatnot. Do you understand what I'm saying? So just living like that. And it's like the stress that comes with that. Because one day, if you then take a major L, then you're working off debt now. Because it's like the Connect might turn around one day and say, all right, cool. Here's the next thing, but you just got to work that off. That's
keeping
not
up with the
stress.
Joneses in this climate compared to my era is dangerous.
It's
fam.
mad.
Like
It's mad.
Like in reflection, I was like, no, man was doing some stupid things with money. See what they're doing now is wild, bro. It's wild still.
You know what?
But
I
then
came
same
from
thing. Who don't hear must feel. Unfortunately,
100%. And you know, look, I'm not even going to get into all of that too much. But what I will tell you is that, you know, I grew up in a situation that had me understanding things better. So when I was dealing with money and that, although I wasn't good with money in regards to the system, like I didn't understand credit and all of that type of stuff and whatever else, but when I was making my little money, you know, my cousin used to always tell me things like, you know, don't have all the money on you, like put some in this pocket and that pocket. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because in the worst case scenario, if someone comes to me and takes something from me, they might only get something from one pocket as opposed to everything. Do you know what I'm saying? If I'm going to the shop, I don't need to take out £900 to go and buy M&Ms.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I can just go in that pocket where I got my fivers.
Yeah, exactly.
Not this pocket where I got my 20s or my 50s. Or I could go in that one there where it's got fivers and
things
coins.
like that used to jar me. I'm not gonna lie to you, my brother. I'm not gonna lie to you. A man going to buy a drink and he's pulling out all this money to
I see man in a. I used to see that.
That's a whole other conversation.
I used to literally go and see man go in the shop now and they're just fumbling out the money like this. Yeah, literally just fumbling it all out, dropping it all on the ting, just to go and get a drink and a chocolate. I'm like, not everyone needs to know. And you know what? I've just seen you do that, and you don't even know who I am. I've just seen that because I could have just looked at that and said, "Wait, my man just took out £500-600 just to get a drink and a chocolate. Let me just make a one phone
That's
call.
how you become easy food.
Yeah, this is food now. And then now that all of that what you've got there, that's not even profit. That's revenue.
Exactly, yeah.
So now when you've been food now,
It's pain for you.
You've got to go
Pain
back
for
to the
you.
Connect and tell him that
pain
that's
for
not.
you. It's pain
Bro,
for you still.
Sometimes
Who don't hear must feel.
Sometimes, you know what? A little retail. Sometimes a little retail. A little trade.
My thing was I used to work in Santander. That was my line all the time. If you was around me, like I'm talking about females wise, then yeah. And obviously they used to laugh because it was blind as day what I was doing. This man's rolling with three £20 phones, all to the point where everyone's on BlackBerry.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wasn't the guy to be screaming, "This is what I do." It just wasn't team.
So with I can imagine that you're good at your job, man, because of all of the things that you've gone through, the environments that you've grown up in, the hardship, also the street stuff, the things that you've had going on in your own mind, the things that you've all had to overcome, as well as obviously you've established yourself in a certain way, even with all of that happening. But then you've come out of that, and I think that sometimes with some youths in particular, they need relatability in some aspect, credibility and relatability.
100%.
Otherwise, it's so much difficult for them to open up and have a conversation in the first place. So I could imagine that, you know, a lot of the time when you do come across kids that are going through a lot of stuff, you can actually get them to open up a little bit. What would you?
Them and adults.
And adults. Yeah, fair, and that too.
You got to remember, there's there's always going to be that stubborn aspect.
Of
You
course.
know, where it's easy for it to go in one ear and out the other.
Yeah.
But then when it's someone who's relatable, you know they've been through it, when they've done that, it's easier for you to hear them. You know what I'm saying? And I guess that's where I bridge the gap most. And that's more what, like, I done a program in Brixton 2 days ago. You know what I'm saying? And just like, I never have ID on me in that aspect of my NHS badge or whatnot. I don't wear a uniform. I don't have to, but I dress how I dress. So if I come in the jailhouse and I'm walking through the man, they're like, yo, dog. But I'm walking with like a white woman who they know is a psychologist. They're thinking, huh? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then that already is intriguing. Well, I remember might see man's footwear or a jacket. I'm like, yo, brother.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just icebreakers. You know what I'm saying? And then from there, it's like, what do you do in like mental health? And like, huh? You know what I'm saying? It's just entry level for man. Then when they hear man's past, hear man's story, you know, man's Cody's a lifers. They're doing a 37 rec. You know, they even on man like, you need to come to man's jail. There's same thing. There's people here that shouldn't be here. They should be in mental health hospitals. Then there's people here that could really hear your talk and respect it. You know, and then the kids, same thing. Some of them will hear it, some of them won't, but they're gonna take in more of it from that. And when I say some of them will hear it, some of them won't, I mean some of them may not hear it now.
You're right.
But because it's coming from man, it's gonna stay there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's where I see it. Like young youths who have just come out of jail, man, chop it up with them. I say the same thing, my brother. Keep it 100. And then young youths with mental health, I support them in the aspect of showing them like, I'm part of your support system now if you may not have one. Because remember, these are youths that are in care homes. You know, they may not essentially have their family, or there may be safeguarding issues where they can't deal with their family. You know what I'm saying? So that's the main thing that all of us need to do in general. Like, who would you identify as your support systems? Internal and external, friends, family, work colleagues. And then your GP, you know the procedure it goes down to seek any trauma therapy. Do you know the procedure it takes to see a psychologist? You know? What are your community sources? Are there any groups that you can go to? Do you know about these things? Who would you feel comfortable going to talk to about a certain situation? Like, really, if it put you in a dark space, you know? Do you identify initial signs of being depressed? Not wanting to get out of bed? Maybe poor hygiene? You know? Up all night overthinking? Lack of energy in the day? Not eating? What's triggered these? Are you even ready to face any of these things? A lot of people ain't. You know, reflection is important, perspective is important, and a self-development journey and a healing journey is important. Enough man want striving, career, paper, gym. What about your headspace and your soul?
100.
You know, balance is the easiest word to say, but it's the hardest thing to figure out in life.
Trust me, I'm telling you. Yeah. Trust me.
Bro, yeah, man. I've been developing a program for the last few years, you know, and yeah, inshallah, that's something I'm going to be pitching to the government, and I've been using this lane of what I've been doing to do that car. Essentially, I want to do things from an aspect where I'm comfortable and I've got longevity in it. The windows of opportunity to help people in certain systems are small due to things we spoke about earlier. Systemic racism, broken infrastructures. But then, as I said, that's me pointing fingers. Then I go back to ownership, accountability, and fear to make change. So what can I do in this? So I create my own thing. Then it has no systemic racism. I'm building this infrastructure and I'm bringing it to them on my terms. Then I've got the longevity to do it there. I've got nothing to complain about, and I can help people till I'm ready to call it a day or train other people to continue doing that. You know, that for me is legacy. You know, leaving things behind after man's passed away that can help people beyond the grave and generate income. That's my opinion of legacy. So that's what I'm focusing on, what I'm doing. Creating a lane of awareness on social media. You know, doing my book. That's something someone can read and benefit from. Whether they're going through it or someone that just is supporting someone that's going through it. Or just someone that just wants information, you know? Because as I said, no one's exempt from mental health. Documentary, another thing. Some people are visual, they're not readers. That's another aspect. In my program, it's something that can go in across the board. consultancy wise, I've done talks to professionals, patients, prisoners, and I'm trying to get into schools. You know, I've done one in the university as well. You know, much university students end up in hospital nowadays because of their studies. I didn't understand it. Same thing, they're up all night. It starts with the sleep deprivation. Then I found out them are taking drugs. So I'm just like, right, what are you doing, partying? And when you should be studying, like, no, I take these certain drugs to stay awake all night. Then rah. And then some of them, they don't come from bad backgrounds, they come from good backgrounds, but then they got a different dynamic and pressure aspect. But they're keeping up with the Jones with their family wise. Their family put mad pressure on them to go and do this degree. It wasn't even their choice. They got to get a certain grade car. That's the family name. You know, they're coming in with their little signet ring and whatnot. That's their world, but it's their pressure. You know. And yeah, man, this is what man's here to do, my brother. Create legacy, create change, create impact, give back, rectify my wrongs, and do right what I can where I can.
I proper respect it, bro. I proper respect it. I know it's not an easy thing to maneuver around, yeah. Especially when you've got some of your own things that you've got to deal with. You know, you've got to take on a lot of, we lightly talked about it, but you know, you're taking on a lot, putting it on your shoulders. And then once the day's done, it's not really done because you still got it on your mind. And especially if you really understand how much suffering some of these people are going through, it takes a certain type of person to be able to just walk away from it completely, just detach themselves and then just get back to it the next day. It just doesn't 100%. Work like that. So I think it's really important that you still find some space in your life for you to make sure that you're operating at a certain type of frequency. Because if you don't do that, then you're not no good to anyone. Do you get what I'm saying? You can't
feed no one from an empty cup.
Do you understand what I'm saying? But bro, honestly, man, big up. Trust me. Like, it's proper commendable, man. And like, just I think also just the story on where you've come from to where you are at today. I hear the survivor's guilt stuff because a lot of the time you may be thinking to yourself, right, any given moment that actually could have been me. Yeah. But the best thing that you can do at this point in your life is to find the way to help your community that are dealing with some of the things that you've dealt with. Yeah. And that way, you know what, like, you are essentially acting like a proper vessel to the cause. Do you know what I mean? Is there anything, lastly, is there any one thing that you think that people should know about, though? And it could be anything. It could be like, it could be something to go and check. It could be a book to read. It could be something within your job. Like, is there any one thing that you think people just should know about?
I'd say starting point would be I keep saying this, identifying your support systems and knowing your positive coping mechanisms. You know, I'd say start with those two. And before you can have it with anyone else, you need to have an open, honest and vulnerable conversation with yourself. Reflection is very important. The better you know yourself, the better position you're going to put yourself in from prevention or to assist anybody else, you know. More time, a lot of us are in position of draw out, you know, which leads to crash and burn, or for men, forced help or punishment. You know, I think those are the key aspects. Regarding books, yeah, there's lots of things that you can go into for regarding self-development. Regarding seeking help, talking to your GP, checking out what third sector things are going on in your area, you know. Especially nowadays where mental health is quite highlighted, you know. And it's even that, like, the world's last health survey, like, UK came like third in the world for mental health. It doesn't even make sense. Yeah, I got it on my phone. I'll show it to you after. Like, that shocked me, bro. But we need to also have some more empathy and compassion towards one another in the community. You know, and that's with everything. And try to step out of our bubble. I know it's not easy. You know, and as I said, I know the climate techie right now, and everyone's got a lot on and going through things. But just be mindful, man, cause enough people at the edge of the cliff, and something small could push them off, and unfortunately, they might drag you with them instead of just falling on their own. And sometimes it's the smallest thing, as a smile or a good morning or a hello or just are you all right? If someone's acting a bit weird or rare, that could shift that dynamic, and it might save them, but it might save someone else as well. Yeah, man. No, I think these are the first steps, man. And continuing for brothers like you, creating a safe space where people can have these conversations. Because as we said, the only way you're going to change the narrative in the community at first is by making things not taboo. Because these are taboo conversations. Until it becomes a normal conversation, is how it gets diluted. Then it's not a way to know, right, man's talking about mental health. Or right, man's talking about this. You know what I'm saying? And those are the first steps. And that, yeah, man, I'll go into as much space as I can. I've done talks and workshops in masjid, you know. Like, from here, I'm going to a care home to go and check a youth, my brother. You know what I'm saying, bro? So it's like, yeah, man, we all got our part. And our roles can be different also, you know. You've created a safe space for men to come and use your platform to have this conversation. That's your partner, bro. You know what I'm saying? Mine might be the front line, you know. Your mum's was in the hospital. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, Broadmoor is not a place that I'm going to be working daily. That's just not me, my brother.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it was auntie's space.
Yeah.
You see me?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just feel like more of us need to take on our part. And yeah, man, it's unity time, man. It's been that, man. The conquer and divide thing is played out, man. You know? And there's one guy, I'm going to end on this, man. I'm not going to get into his story, but he goes by the name of Hear Me Now. And he says positive's the new gangster. And his perspective on a lot of things is very serious. He's a man to check out, you know. And from two guys from different pasts. And I think he done like a 10 behind the door. We connected on LinkedIn first, then on socials. And there's going to be work that will go through in the future. I see these kind of things happen, but it's the same way. The internet's dark space, but I've met some good connections through like TikTok. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've got work through it, my brother. You know, where someone's watched certain clips of my book and had me come and speak in a certain place. You know, a man from my gym that I was supposed to train with, and to the point where gym got closed down, I've changed a different gym, but he's on my WhatsApp, see my stories about my thing, and I find out that he works in university. And got me paid to come in to talk to kids in the university who are international students. You know, so networking is key, bridging the gap, and when people see you doing the right thing, it can come together, man.
100 million%, bro. 100 million%. Flash, big up, man.
No, I appreciate it.
I would want to catch up with you again, though.
Yeah, man.
It would be good to, like, sometime in like the first quarter of the year, just to have a little debrief again. I'd like to do that.
You need to give me your email as well. I want you to read what I've written on my book so far.
Yeah. Please. Me and you will stay in touch, man. I feel like, yeah, man. Like, not to sound mad or weird or whatever, but you're the type of I like people like you, bro. I feel like you got the right type of mindset that I just like to be around people like that. Do you know what I'm saying?
I appreciate it.
Talk to people like that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, manners. We'll throw each other some books. I know you got some.
Yeah, I got some. So see me, yeah. So I'm not like. So you see me, I'm not like. It's weird because like I say that I'm not a book reader.
Yeah.
But I've read books though. So my thing is that like, if there's something interesting, then I'm locked into it. But I can't just I couldn't just pick up a book and just read. Like barely have I read a book and been like, nah, it wasn't even all that.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Because I know what I'm looking for.
I know what I'm looking for. So when I'm reading, yeah. But now in my yard, I've got like a bookshelf and things. All right. You get what I'm saying? And I've read pretty much all of them.
Yeah.
There's a couple that I ain't read. I've nearly finished this one book. Aseta Shakur, her autobiography. She died quite recently, but really interesting. Grew up in and around the 70s or whatever, yeah. She's a freedom fighter.
Okay.
And she talks a lot about like what it looked like, her communities looked like when she was growing up, and like some of the struggles that they were facing racially, with inequality and, you know, poor income and all of that type of stuff. But then from what it sounds like, she was framed when she started getting into the talking up for her people and whatnot, yeah, you know, obviously them times there, if your voice was starting to get a little bit too loud, they were trying to do some stuff to suppress that. Do you get what I'm saying? So then they framed her on some bank robbery thing, and then I think a murder of a police officer and that. So they were like really, 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 really trying to get her. They put her in she was the first woman that they put in a men's prison.
Is it?
Yeah, they put her in a man's prison and that. Yeah, it was her whole thing.
That's
It's absolutely
wild.
crazy. Anyway, she ended up going to Cuba. They were still trying to get her, you know. But
I know that bit that she disappeared in Cuba, but yeah, I never knew about the going into a man's prison.
yeah, they put her in a man's prison and all of that, bro. Yeah, they dealt with her rough.
That's
But yeah, so yeah, her story. So autobiographies, certain type of history, it's like self-help type books. Like one of my favorite books ever is The 4 Agreements. I love that book.
Okay.
By Don Rowell. Don Rowell. What is his name?
What does it say again for?
The 4 Agreements. My favorite book. That book there.
I'm gonna start with that one then.
That book really helped me.
Start with that one.
It really helped me.
Yeah.
This one here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That really, really helped. And imagine I had that book here, but yeah, Don Miguel Ruiz.
Okay.
I had it and I wasn't ready for it.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's why you have to keep books.
So I just kept it.
That's why.
Then one day I came
Trust
to it
me.
and then yeah, man, like be impeccable with you. I think the one that really oh God. The chapter that really, really, really resonated with me was don't take it personally. That one there. So those are the 4 agreements.
Yeah.
Be impeccable with your word. Don't take it personally. Don't make assumptions. Always do your best. Yeah. But the one at the time that really got me was don't take it personally. And the way that he breaks that down, for me, like I live by that.
Yeah, you have to, bro. It's scary not to.
But it's not just from. I'll leave it. I'm not going to spoil it.
Yeah.
But he doesn't just talk about it from the negative perspective.
Yeah.
He talks about it from a positive perspective.
Okay.
About not taking certain of those things personally, and he explains why. Yeah. But when he explains it, it's cold.
Yeah.
And then I read a couple of his other books as well. But that one there for me.
I was talking
is good.
about that yesterday with my dog, Rena.
Yeah.
And I was saying like you can't push your perspective on other people.
Nah.
Or the aspect of how your mind and your heart set up. You can't assume that or push that on other people because that's where you're going to take it personally.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? And you have,
Yeah,
you have to know your brethren to your brethren. You have to know a snake to be a snake. You have to know a dog to be a dog. And, you know, then you can make a decision whether you're going to stay with them or not, you know?
Yeah. But that book there, I'm going to order that book that you told me.
Yeah. And I'm going to grab this one.
All right, then. And then we'll chat, yeah?
Yeah, don't say all that.
Flash, big up yourself each and every
Manscaped.
time, yeah? Thanks for listening, everyone, yeah? Love.